Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this particular video, I'd like to discuss my thoughts on episode 2 of the anime series Arpeggio of Blue Steel, Ars Nova. And this was really a kick-ass episode, I have to say, whereas the first episode was very much an establishing episode where we're being introduced to these main characters and the universe in which they live and everything like that. But it was also replete with a lot of action and heavy cruiser battles on and underneath the water, and it was just really awesome. And this episode, we're thrust right in the middle of another engagement as this one opens up. And it's very much, it turns out to be a chess game in and on top of the water, with essentially the I-401, the main ship that we're following, which is a former Fleet of Fog ship, the Fleet of Fog being this sort of malevolent force of AI-controlled ships. And you have this ship that basically, is commanded by Gunzo. He is the human commander, a young guy whose father essentially found and sent this ship and its AI, a little girl named Iona, who is completely, just algorithms and computer machinations within this, as I say, former Fleet of Fog ship. It was sent to find him, and so they've been working for the last 2 years trying to put a dent, as I said in my previous episode review video, in the Fleet of Fog's ships and everything like that. And so they have the destination they're trying to reach, Yokozuka Harbor, and sitting in between their position and this destination is an ambush, sitting at the center of this humongous typhoon. Within the eye of the storm of this typhoon is the Fleet of Fog's Crimson heavy cruiser, as led by its AI, Takao. And we're just seeing how much of a master strategist she is from right off the bat. She's taking out the decoy ships that Gunzo has ordered to be, surrounding his vessel so that he won't be picked apart automatically. But there's also a level of strategy going on with Gunzo himself. He has almost a sixth sense of what's going on, because once he's debated, with his fellow crew and everything, the sort of plan of attack, the plan of actions that they have, one of which is to enter this typhoon and hopefully use the decoys to keep them off the radar of Takao's ship. Another plan is, basically skirting at the edges, trying to go around and hopefully not being within that radar net of Takao's ship. And the third being the most bold and potentially stupid choice, plan of action, which is to take on Takao head on. And this is the plan Gunzo decides to utilize. Now, he basically inadvertently opens up his ship for attack of a humongous gravity cannon that Takao is in command of with her ship, her vessel, and she pinpoints them almost immediately. Now, they're all suspecting she can't locate them as easily as she does, but there's a level, as I say, that sixth sense that Gunzo has, because he senses we have to move at that last second. Just before the gravity cannon fires, per Takao's order, he says, move us aside, crash, dive, and everything like that. They just barely get away with their lives. They were almost completely debilitated under the water or on top of the water, what have you, by Takao's vessel. And she's incredulous because she is algorithms, she is machinations, and she feels like down to the numeral point, down to the decimal, she had this configured right. But she missed. She missed her target. And so we're seeing just how apt, a Commander Gunzo is of this vessel, the I-401. Now, it's really interesting to me because once they are sort of down on the bottom of the water, before they decide to engage Takao further, you have this sort of revelation about how the Fleet of Fog has a ceasefire order on any sort of human establishments on land. Yet they are perfectly fine with collateral damage being doled out if ships are near to land and they come under attack by the Fleet of Fog. And I find this very compelling and interesting. It's like, what is it about the oceans of this particular not too distant future world that the Fleet of Fog is so commanding over? Is there some hidden secret that they're trying to keep humanity away from? Could it be a weapon? Could they have been, we're thinking that the Fleet of Fog is an enemy. Could this be a series of AI ships to keep humanity from finding an ultimate weapon that could destroy the world or something along those lines? But essentially, post these revelations, we have Gunzo being very much, again, that strategist in him comes out, and he starts to piece together that there has to be something helping Takao to locate their position. They were focused, literally, Takao's vessel was focused in the direction of where they were located, and she couldn't have necessarily done that on her own. and they piece together that there has to be another vessel sort of attached below the water to Takau's. And so they basically decide they're going to make another head-on attack on Takau's vessel. And I love that there's a little banter between the engineer, Iori, and Iona, as far as, you know, when Gunzo asks Iona, do we have enough power to do this, and all this kind of stuff. He's asking the wrong person. He's asking the AI of the ship rather than the engineer, who probably would know better than Iona. You know, it's kind of like asking a patient, you know, do you feel sick? And they might say, no, I don't feel sick, but they could have something going on inside that the doctor has just found out with the blood test, you know. He's not asking and trusting his engineer, but it turns out it's for the better after all, because they end up uncovering, by using a very shockingly surprised debuted gravity cannon that the I-401 itself has. This just blew me out of the water, no pun intended, when they unleash this thing on Takau's vessel and debilitate it. And they find this hidden vessel, as, you know, Gunzo suspected, underneath the water, attached to Takau's vessel. And they, you know, they silence it, they quell it, and they get on their merry way. And you basically have Takau later sort of being reamed out by one of her fellow Fleet of Fog AIs and everything like that. And it's just interesting and sort of comical to me that by the end, she's kind of starstruck over Gunzo. She's thinking to herself, if I had a human quotient, a component on this vessel, I could turn the tables on other vessels commanded by human beings and everything like that. And even what's more so, you know, she actually sort of romantically starts looking at Gunzo as being, I want him, you know. It's not just any particular human being she wants Gunzo. So it begs the question to me, you know, what exactly is the Fleet of Fog's role in all this? What are they keeping humanity away from the waters for? Is it because of the sort of, you know, malevolent nature human beings have within themselves to, as we've seen, you know, there are government officials and stuff like that who don't trust the I-401 or Gunzo or anything like that as much as they don't trust the Fleet of Fog. So it's a big mystery to unravel as this series goes on, and this was just a chess game on the water. It was all intellectual and strategy, and it was just awesome. And I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments below what you thought of episode 2 of Arpeggio of Blue Steel, Ars Nova. And otherwise, I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you later. Peace.